You ever have one of those mornings where the shop smells so good, just that mix of cedar shavings and paste wax, that you almost don't want to turn a machine on and ruin the piece?
That's a very poetic way of saying you're moving slow because it's Sunday, Tiger. But don't get too comfortable. We have a lot of ground to cover today, from demolition blades to Etsy algorithms.
Fair point. My joints are creaking like a barn door in a gale anyway, so we might as well get to work. Welcome into the TigerDen, folks. It's Sunday, August 9th, and we're looking at how to sharpen your tools, your career, and your bank account all at once.
Let's start with the heavy hitters. Milwaukee is dropping the nitrous carbide axe blades for the Sawzall. Now, Tiger, I've seen you go through a reciprocating saw blade in about 30 seconds trying to cut through an old cast iron pipe. Is this actually a game changer or just fancy branding?
I remember back when carbide was something you only saw on a high-end table saw blade, and if you hit a nail with a Sawzall, you basically just created a very expensive toothless metal ribbon. These new nitrous blades, they don't just cut, they're like a hot knife through a stick of room temperature butter, even if that butter is full of hardened screws and cast iron. It's the difference between fighting your tools and letting the physics do the heavy lifting for you.
They're also pushing these new low-vibration striking tools. I feel like low vibration is code for I'm getting older and my elbows hurt.
Hey, watch it. But yeah, you're spot on. When you spend 8 hours swinging a framing hammer or a heavy chisel, that kinetic energy doesn't just vanish. It travels right up your arm and nests in your joints like a stubborn house guest. If a tool designer can figure out how to keep that shock in the steel and out of my funny bone, I'll gladly hand over my paycheck. Speaking of shop health, did you see that Powermatic air filter deal?
The PM 1250? Yeah, it's seeing some deep discounts. But Tiger, you've always been the just open a window and cough kind of guy. Are you finally going high tech on us?
Don't tell the old timers, but I'm tired of blowing my nose and seeing a mahogany forest in the tissue.
Good. Your lungs will thank you. Moving from the shop to the job site, ACHR News is looking for their 40 under 40 inches, the HVAC world. It's interesting to see the trades finally getting the young professional treatment usually reserved for tech bros in Silicon Valley.
It's about time. For 20 years, we told every kid with a brain to go sit in a cubicle and stare at spreadsheets until their soul turned gray. Now we're realizing that the folks who can actually fix a complex VRF system or balance a commercial air handler are the ones holding the keys to the kingdom. These 40 under 40 types, they aren't just repairmen, they're part data scientist, part mechanical engineer, and part business mogul.
You mentioned transitioning from technician to leader. What's the biggest hurdle there? I'm guessing it's not the technical skill.
No, it's the head in the hood syndrome. You get so good at the craft that you forget to look up and see the business. To move up, you have to stop thinking about how to fix the machine and start thinking about how to build the system that fixes the machines. It's a different kind of wrench, Alex. You're tightening up schedules and profit margins instead of flare fittings.
Speaking of profit margins, let's talk to our maker moguls. It's August, which means if you sell on Etsy or your own site, Christmas is basically tomorrow. The data is showing a massive surge in cozy details and, of all things, animal prints.
Animal prints? Really? I don't think my hand-carved walnut bowls are going to look good in cheetah print, Alex.
Maybe not the wood itself, Tiger, but think about the styling. If you're photographing a rustic cutting board, maybe pair it with a leopard print tea towel or a cozy high-texture wool throw. E-Rank is showing that the vibe is what's selling right now. But the real problem I'm seeing, and I want your take on this, is the browse to buy gap. People are getting the clicks, but nobody is hitting add to cart.
I've fallen into this hole myself. You take a beautiful artistic photo of a dovetail box, but you don't put a banana or a quarter next to it for scale. The customer looks at it and thinks, is this for my jewelry? Or is this a toy for a hamster? If a buyer has to guess the size, they aren't going to buy. They're going to keep scrolling until they find someone who makes it easy for them. Clarity is more important than aesthetic every single day of the week.
It's a trust issue too. If the shipping price is hidden or the first photo is blurry, you've lost them. It's like a handshake. If it's limp and weird, you aren't doing business with that person.
Precisely. Make the add to cart button the easiest decision they make all day. Don't make them do math and don't make them guess.
Let's talk Sunday projects. You've got 3 levels on the menu today: maintenance, heritage, and the big dream.
Yeah, the maintenance hustle is for the folks who just bought a fixer-upper. I always tell people, before you start knocking down walls and dreaming of an open concept kitchen, just handle the big 3: paint, floors, and lighting. You can make a 1970s dungeon look like a palace with some fresh white paint and some updated LED fixtures. It's the highest ROI for your sweat equity.
And the Heritage Build is an end grain cutting board. Now, I have to push back here. Isn't that the most cliche woodworker project in existence?
It's a cliche for a reason. It's the ultimate ego check. You think you're a great woodworker until you try to glue up 100 tiny squares of maple and walnut and realize your table saw is out of square by a hair's breadth. It's a scrap wood project that teaches you how wood breathes and moves. Plus, if you mess it up, you just have a very fancy set of coasters.
And then there's the Dream Home series, episode 55. They're hitting the final interior finishes. That's the stage where you either feel like a hero or you're so tired of contractors you want to live in a tent.
It's the marathon wall. You're at mile 22. The framing is done, the plumbing is in the walls, but you're agonizing over the exact shade of eggshell versus linen white. My advice, don't rush the trim work. You can live with a subpar foundation. You can't see it, but you will look at a poorly mitered baseboard every single day for the next 30 years.
Spoken like a man who has definitely stared at a bad miter joint for 30 years.
It's in the guest bathroom. Don't look too close when you visit.
So, what's the big takeaway for this Sunday? We've covered a lot, from the grit of demolition blades to the finesse of Etsy photography.
I think it's about precision in the pivot, whether you're upgrading your saw blades to save your hands or shifting your Etsy shop to match what people are actually searching for. The most successful makers are the ones who aren't afraid to change their approach when the data or the dull blade tells them to. Don't get so married to the way I've always done it that you miss the better way sitting right in front of you.
Well said. Now, are you going to go fix that miter joint in the bathroom, or are we going to go get brunch?
Brunch. Definitely brunch. That miter joint and I have reached a peaceful stalemate.
Thanks for joining us in the Tiger Den. Keep building, keep growing, and we'll see you on the job site.